constitution was not followed. For me, this moment is not about personal vindication, it is about mokopuna. Mokopuna in the sense that every decision I make is measured by whether our mokopuna will inherit a better situation than the one we have today. And although we, in a new day and age, wahine Māori, continue to experience enduring prejudice, our mokopuna deserve an environment free from that burden, and so I was left with one choice, and that was to call it out in one of the highest levels I could when tikanga was blatantly ignored. This has also been about ensuring that the voices of the people who elected me, our whānau in Te Tai Tokerau, are shown respect. Te Pāti Māori's kawa exists for a reason. They ensure respect for the authority and mana motuhake of our individual electorates. That respect was not afforded to the thousands of whānau in Te Tai Tokerau who entrusted me with the responsibility to represent them, whose voices were wrongfully silenced. And the accrued harm has deepened the mamae. The court's decision alone will not heal the hurt carried by my people, but it is an important first step. Throughout this period, there has been considerable discussion and speculation. Some of that speculation involved my son. The court made it very clear there was no evidence to support allegations that I misused funds or brought the party into disrepute. It also confirmed that the fact sheet distributed last October, which made serious allegations against one of my children, stated, quote, regrettably did not record facts. There was much said about utu, but utu pursued with ill intent can only attach where ill intent exists. My sole intent has always been to advance Te Tai Tokerau. When Dame Tariana Tūria told me to stand as a candidate for Te Pāti Māori back in 2017, I accepted that karanga with great humility. I rungi tēnā e mihi atu ana ki wa tātou whānau kei Te Tai Tokerau tai te rerenga wairua tai ki te atatū. Tini wa tātou whānau e tautoko ani au, no reira I rungi tēnei kōrero I te ata nei mihi atu ana ki a tātou. Despite everything, I have remained focused on the work I was elected to do. So long as I am here, I will not falter in that responsibility. Over the past months, our people in Te Tai Tokerau have mobilised in response to these events that have transpired. On the 23rd of November last year, we gathered at Kohewhata Marae to discuss our future as a people. That hui was grounded in tikanga and centred on the well-being of our mokopuna. There was confronting kōrero. It questioned integrity, leadership and the protection of mana wahine. The ultimate outcome from Kohewhata was our people's desire to change this government come November. In order to achieve this, our people want a movement that is reflective of Māori hearts and minds, rooted in kotaitanga. To conclude, pursuing a legal pathway in the courts was never my first choice. My intention was to ensure that the processes we hold to ourselves, particularly those grounded in tikanga, are upheld. The question remains whether Te Pāti Māori can be trusted by mai rohe, while no changes have been made and the capability of the party beyond this term is debated amongst te iwi Māori. For now, I will sit with this decision, keep planning and continue showing up while I can for those who put me here. I remain deeply committed to serving the people of Te Tai Tokerau who entrusted me with this responsibility. In the coming weeks, I look forward to meeting with whānau, hapu and iwi of Te Tai Tokerau to discuss our future and strategy to change government for the election in November. Kia ora tātou. Yes. tikanga, in my view, should prevail. Mikey and I, it's something we need to work through, I think. Like, it's further discussions that we have decided we will be having. So I think it's going to be tough, but I think that I'm up for that conversation. You know, it's been tough as I get tough. Not afraid of those kinds of conversations. But particularly when our own tikanga, our own rules of engagement are applied and we all get there, then that will prevail.
I guess the reason why I said the President and the co-members oversaw a process
Yeah.
was unlawful. So
Yes.
remain in those positions.
I think it's a reasonable question. I haven't seen the party president or any of the group that were named. And right now, I'm not absolutely sure what their thinking is, but what I do know and what I am most confident about is our tikanga and our ways of being, and even in the toughest of times, coming together to have those tough conversations. So yeah, that's where we're at now, and I guess it's relatively early days. The decision was 2 days ago. We've been in this process for some months now, and I'm looking forward to the recess, to being back with whānui no te taitokero, to get a sense and hear and know, like I did at Kohewhata, what they see for me and for our taitokero future.
Is there a world when you still running as an independent and fair election because you can't get past those differences with the Te Pāti Māori leadership?
I am keen, I am interested, I am determined to run again for Te Taitokero, and yes, so yes, there is a world that has that potential possibility in it, yes. So, you know, the reinstatement is the ruling from the court, and a great ruling, by the way, 55 pages. That's a great read. You might have read it. I hope, because it's and have I rejoined the party? I am in the early stages of what the detail of that actually looks like. So yes, I'm back in the register with Te Pāti Māori, and you know, I mean, very soon, in a few hours, I'm going to head home and we're going to be back in the rohe, and I'm going to hear what our taitokoro whānau actually think about all of that as they discussed it at Kohewhata. When Tariana asked me back in 2017, you know, that was she kind of asked but said, you know, and I recall that moment. In fact, when I was just down in the for her unveiling, I was reminded of that moment and what it meant to me. So the heart of the kaupapa is still very much in me. I was born with it, I carry it, and I will die with that. So those things in that very Māori way are still extremely present to me. And I'll leave that there.
There's a but there. And so what are the prerequisites, I guess, for you? Is it that you want to have an honest, you obviously want to go see what the thinking is from
Yeah,
the board.
I do.
Do you also need to see some sort of accountability from the leadership, some sort of discussion about, you know, whether change is necessary or not? What would you like to see
Yeah.
to satisfy you to stay in the party?
There's a piece of this which I think belongs with the membership of the party, so that this bit was, if I can call it a bit, was done at my end of things. So now it is the party and the membership that one might say the ball is in their court in that regard. And so, that's where that is. That's where that is. Yes, yes. I haven't seen John at all. I have received contact to get together and have some kind of discussion, but it was quite rushed, and lots of other things going on, particularly yesterday. I mean, I wanted to focus on Penny. He's my nephew. I wanted to have that day for him, and I wanted to be here for him, so that's where I focused yesterday. But so I haven't had a chance to meet with anyone in a real and robust way to have those conversations. I must. We have this thing in our tikanga, hohau te rongo, which is it's an enduring conversation and deeper discussion about, which can end up in an apology, but it's a process of apology. I think the courts call it restorative justice, which interestingly is, its origins are in tikanga, by the way. But of course, restoration is key, or hauwi te rongo is probably critical for me. It sits in our own worldview and our tikanga, and I'm looking forward to those days. I'm always hopeful. I am, well, because I'm hopeful, but I'm confident in the ways we are as Māori, even when we might, tumble a bit. So our tikanga must prevail. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that moment was that was not good in any way. It was not good for te tai tokerau at all, witnessed by te tai tokerau on that particular marae, on that marae ātea, in front of that whare. So when somebody comes like that for that particular reason, I think it showed to everyone that witnessed that what was really going on, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't in the mind of that person. I remember being asked a similar question on that day, and I said, I don't know what's in the mind of a person that might do that. And I don't know, I wouldn't even bother to try and guess any further. I guess I do expect more. I roto I wā tātou nei tikanga, as the more being that level, that way of being, those practices. I roto I wā tātou nei tikanga? My answer is yes. You would have seen in my application that was certainly part of the application to the court. In this instance, the court couldn't rule on that particular piece of the application, so I guess my application had that element in it, and I guess the ball is in the court of the membership to do that work and decide how that might go. Yeah, yes, we'll see. I mean, the kaupapa is still the kaupapa, and that's something that have always been dedicated to. Individuals, we all come and go, even me, as MPs.
On that point, in terms of the presidency, the judge's ruling pointed to the fact that there was no opposition when John Kapa-Kingi was reaffirmed. How come you didn't propose that at the time?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. That was discussed in the hearing, and to be able to honestly reflect back on that time as that particular process occurred, I actually can't remember, to be absolutely honest.
Because that suggests that it wasn't so much of an issue at that time.
Yeah, well, there's always a lot of things going on at the same time, and like meetings like that particular meeting, I have a vague memory of it happening. I have a vague memory of me presenting some kind of report. But other than that, I honestly cannot remember. Yeah, no, that's a fair question. I can speak for myself, and I know that despite the suspension on that day and the expulsion and all of those things up until now, I've never left this house. It's interesting when people say to me, welcome back, and I'm going, I never left. I never left this house. I've never stopped turning up to my work. I've never stopped doing the work, whether I was back in my electorate or here. So just in that regard, if you're looking for somebody that will turn up, show up well, show up with confidence, show up with doing the work, preparing as much as one can, and be engaged across the house and in this place. even despite the questions I have about this place. That's me. You've got that in me. Mm.
What if things don't get better? Have you prepared yourself for what might happen in that scenario if they don't follow this kind of positive path?
Yeah. I've made a commitment to myself and to those in Tautokoro, as I did at Kohewhata. I will stay. I will remain one way or another, right? That I think I've got what it takes to do the work, and so and I want to. So being here and pursuing in the election in November, that's me. That's what I plan to do. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't bother. It's really, honestly, it's. Oh, I haven't had any conversations in that regard. Yeah, so it works for us where we are. So I work in the office with Doc, as some of you have seen. We're at Tākuta, and we work in the office together. We discuss, we caucus together even. We, our teams collaborate, and we turn up together, as you would see. So, I might even call that an interdependent model of working. I don't know if that's naive and whether those things are even a thing. But what is a thing is the ability to work together in these circumstances where both of us were expelled. And it would make sense to, because who you're talking about in the sense, you're talking about individuals, but you're talking about the tail of the fish and the head of the fish. You're talking about te taitonga and tai tokerau. So if those key pieces of a fish, right? I mean, all delicious when, and all very useful, but also very delicious when they're on a plate. So, but yeah, when you dislodge from those things, what you've got in the middle is a floater, right? So yeah, to the question, it works where we are right now in this time leading up to an election, which feels like it's in a few days. So, final question, if I may. Yes. Yes.
The party should extend a welcome back to Takuta as a result of this. Do you think that the party will do that, and should they do that?
I actually don't know whether they will, but I mean it seems so obvious in my mind anyway. So I don't know whether they should or shouldn't, because that's for them to decide, consider and decide. But it seems obvious to me. Oh, okay. Second final. Hey, Glenn. No. I think, as I've said in my speech, it's that was an action that I took, and now we've got this result. So there is some significant information, and now that is privy to everybody, which is important for us to all understand. To the question of working where I work and who I'm sitting with, and in the House, for instance. So we are going to be. The chairs have been adjusted slightly. They will be adjusted again, apparently, it seems. And that's probably where I'd like to leave that one for now, Glenn. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't. It is something that's been floated, Mikey, but I haven't made a decision, or we haven't discussed that yet. I think, again, it's something that for Te Tai Tokerau, they were clear with me at Kohewhata, and I imagine they're going to be clear at me again this week. I'm going to leave it there, if I may. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your time. All right. Awesome. Thank you. I'm